Hello again, guys. Another day in paradise, another day of isolation. I hope you guys are all faring well. I'd like to have another rant with you guys if possible, if you could hear me out. First, before I do that, I'd like to say thank you to all you guys who have been sending your well wishes for my girlfriend. She's coming out of hospital today, which I'm very happy to say. So thank you very much for your blessings. Now, I wanted to talk about the virus, actually. No, I didn't want to talk about the virus. I'm getting sick of the virus. Aren't you getting sick of the virus? I'm getting sick of it. I wanted to talk about something else. I wanted to talk about internet privacy. I find it a very interesting conversation to have, and one I haven't had. So, have you ever had a conversation with someone about a particular topic, say the presidential race? And healthcare, and then a few hours later you're scrolling through Instagram and then boom, what pops up? A sponsored post by a presidential candidate talking about healthcare, and then you're sitting there scratching your head asking, saying, wow, how the hell did that just happen? Is it a coincidence? Are Google a clairvoyant? Are they able to read my mind? Well, it's not a coincidence, and yeah, they are able to read your mind. Google are able to read your mind, but not through any supernatural means. They simply use very powerful computers the size of an apartment building over there in Silicon Valley to do that. So most of us already know this. We have some idea that they are collecting our information when we go on certain websites, and they ask us if we can use our cookies to better our browsing experience. So we know this is happening, but do you know to what extent your personal information is being used and how it's being used? Now, for a moment, I want you to sort of forget about the cookies and the data that you're willingly giving to them, because that data is just a tiny fraction of the data that's being collected daily. The reality is that there is a vast amount of data that you wouldn't even believe would be possible to be harvested, and it's all done in the name of surveillance capitalism. So what is surveillance capitalism? Surveillance capitalism is an industry solely based on the collection, storage, sorting, packaging and trading of your raw junk data. So what is raw junk data? Well, this is the part that really blew my mind, actually. The raw junk data is essentially the data you radiate through all your electronic devices. Everything that's hooked up to the internet inside your house emits information and it absorbs information and sends it back to the Google mainframes. They hoover up this information constantly all throughout your day, mostly by your smartphone, because you always have your smartphone with you. And with that, they're able to find out very subtle things about you. They're able to find out whether you're walking with a limp today. They're able to find out what you normally eat on that, what you feel like eating that day. I mean, that's the crazy part. It's able to tell when someone comes to your house. It knows who's come to your house, why they are there, and how that person normally makes you feel. That is crazy to imagine there's a computer that knows this. So what are they doing with all this data? Well, this is the important question. They're using the data to build models and algorithms to not to just persuade you to buy a certain product, but to predict and modify your behavior with great accuracy. They're using this ability to change your pattern of behavior, to manipulate you to do things in the physical realm that you wouldn't normally do. As an example, the first exercise of this, the greatest exercise of this, I would say, was Pokemon Go. If you remember Pokemon Go, when people were running around with their phones trying to capture Pokemon. This was brilliant, because Google were actually able to physically get people to a location. So they were able to go to McDonald's and say to them, how many people are going to this particular McDonald's in between the hours of 12 and 3 o'clock on a Saturday? McDonald's could say, 300 people. And Google would come back to them and say, well, I could get 1,000 people into that McDonald's, and you wouldn't have to pay us until we get 1,000 in. If we don't get 1,000 in, you don't have to pay us. It's a win-win situation for McDonald's. They're not going to say no to that. And guess what? It was easy for Google to get 1,000 people into McDonald's. They simply put one of the rarest Pokemon in the McDonald's, and then hordes of people descended on this McDonald's. So it's just an amazing marketing tool. There is also an incident of what happened with a woman that found out she was pregnant via Google. She actually didn't know she was pregnant. Google knew she was pregnant before she did. So they found this out by comparing a switch of shampoo brand that she normally would use. They used their algorithms, compared it with other people who did something similar, and realized that she was pregnant, and started sending her boyfriend products, baby products, advertising for baby products, and it was crazy. They found out that way. Can you imagine? Incredible way of doing it. Incredible that they have the ability to do this. So why should this be concerning to us? I mean, the concept gives us users an extremely personalized internet experience, tailor-made to save us time, to make things more efficient. But there is a danger that this ability to manipulate, dictate, modify our behavior and our feelings, to predict what we will next do in the future, can be used against us by foreign governments, enemy of the state, and hostile entities. Currently, this trade is unregulated, so they can just hoover up all of our information and they can do whatever they want with it. They can sell it to whoever they want. And this is the reason why you have a reality TV star in the White House, and why the UK is not in the EU anymore. It's simply for these reasons, and I think it's the destruction of what we would call democracy, because people are now able to pay these huge companies for outcomes of elections and referendums. They can essentially rule our world through these algorithms. It's incredible. It's a clean, non-invasive way that the ruling class can further erode our freedoms by controlling how we think and how we feel. It's the ultimate commodity, the ability to subliminarily trigger emotions and thoughts of tens of millions of people at will, almost priceless. And some of the people that will have control of this tool will use it with the sole intent of destroying you because of your race, your religion, or ethnicity, or whatever. So it's important we learn about this, and we talk to our children about this and make sure that they know what is happening. Can it be changed? I'm sure it can be changed, and I hope it can be changed. We don't want our great-great-great-grandchildren to be chipped first thing when they come out, because they see it as something that is normal. This isn't normal. People knowing what our intimate most thoughts at 6,000 miles away in Silicon Valley, that's not the way it should be. So yeah, though that's my thoughts on it anyway. So if you have any thoughts on it, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you very much for listening to my rant again. Enough respect. Oh, God. This is, what's this? This is green tea with orange. So. And by the way, I'm using my girlfriend's cup. Yeah, so there you go. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Enjoy.